Hi everyone, welcome back to The Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Phantom, and today we will be continuing with Tarn Tuesdays with this, the Super7 Tarn. This is a non-transforming figure, but when it comes to Tarn, you really don't have that many options, quite honestly, unless you want to pay the exorbitant prices for the super premium $450 Super EX non-transforming action figures. So, in terms of sheer affordability, this is the next and I think presumably last Tarn figure that has been made so far that is available for mass market people. We have done the Legacy Tarn, we have done Cyberverse Tarn, we took a pivot to Legacy Evolution Bludgeon, and now we are back to Tarn with this, the Super7 Tarn. I don't know really anything about Super7 as a company. I know that they manufacture a lot of non-transforming, just general action figures. I know that they do a whole line of Transformers that just appear like they did in their animation model. They've done a whole bunch of Godzilla toys, but I have not actually had the opportunity to pick up anything by Super7, nor have I really wanted to. The only thing I think I saw, or maybe it was given to me as a gift, is I think I have somewhere the Super7 prototype Unicron figure. But that's really it. I don't generally go in for that. To me, this is very much like a Funko Pop, which I really don't understand either. I just don't understand why you want that. But because we are looking for Tarn figures specifically, this was the last Tarn that was readily available, really, to anyone, because I'm not going to go super $200, super articulated, super posable, super detailed. This is just a general toy you could go into a toy store and buy. So this is the next in Tarn Tuesdays. All right, so looking at the box, we have Decepticon clearly emblazoned on the side, Decepticon logo, his name Tarn, just general manufacturing information on the bottom, and then on the top it says Ultimates. So I guess this is the Super7 Ultimates line, presumably because it's larger than regular Super7 figures. So this top part is actually a slipcase, and as we pull it out, we are left with a very nice impression of what we will be unboxing today, which is the Transformers, the original G1 logo, Tarn, ages 14 and up, Super7, and we get tech specs on the back. So the only thing that he really is lacking is speed and rank. Skill is all the way up there, which makes sense. Strength is all the way up there, generally, which makes sense. I am somewhat heartened by the fact that they did seem to take his intelligence down to 8 and his courage down to 7. But that's what this is, so there's nothing else on the box because the bottom of the box is the same bottom that we were looking at. So how about we open this up? The inside of the box is a silver grid, which, yeah, you can kind of see it there. It's a metallicized silver grid pattern, which just reflected the ambient light coming into the original box. So that's actually a pretty nice, it's a premium box for, I'm going to guess what they're calling a premium figure. So we have Tarn, and we have various accessories here. We've got various hands. We've got a faceplate. We've got his normal scarred damus glitch face, because I don't think this one has a mask that comes off. 2 holding hands. And then if we go to the lower tray, which... it is. We go into the lower tray, and we have a non-transforming Nickel figure and his fusion cannon along with Nickel's backpack. Will we take all these pieces out then, shall we? All right, so what we're left here is Tarn with this assemblage of parts. He does come with a good range of hands. He has a hand that grips. He's got a claw hand, a hand that looks like it's firing a weapon, a hand that looks like it's firing a weapon on the other side, another claw, his face mask, this battle-damaged face, which he got battle-damaged by fighting Grimlock, apparently, in the comics, and then another just general grip hand. But this is not one where the mask actually goes over his face. It is two separate things. His fusion cannon is a single piece of welded plastic. It does not separate. It's got very simple pink along the edges. We take off one of his side arm pieces in order to pop the fusion cannon into here, which it does not do very well. This face does not come off, I don't believe. No, it's a single piece. His cod piece here is plastic, or rubber rather, so that when you move his legs, the pieces shift with him. His legs are very loose. Unlike the rest of the figure, so I'm not really quite sure exactly why that is. He does have a torso swivel, an ab swivel, which is nice. He does not have heel tilts, so he just kind of stands at attention ready. Nickel here is very nice. She is mildly super deformed. She's not as proportioned as the version that was in the Blokey's version of the figure. However, she does have all of these standing antennae that are much more pronounced in this figure than they were in the original. And she comes with little wrenches that you hook onto these spokes on her waist. So she has something that jiggles, I guess. It's kind of weird. Her wheels are flattened on the bottom so she can stand up. She just has basic articulation. And she does come with this backpack, which does fit in here very snugly. So that completes her look. It's kind of confusing because I don't know if it came across in the original Blokey's Tarn and Nickel video and her associated lore section, but she is supposed to be a triple changer, where she transforms from this into both a flying mode, a car mode, and a submarine mode. In the comics, we only ever see her transform into a car. So these wings on this jetpack are kind of strange, even though she did have them in the comics. So, if you put the jetpack on her, however, she does not stand up. This could have done with a nice stand, actually, now that I think about it. No, okay. Well, we'll deal with that in a second. Okay. Whoa! Okay, so going on to the actual figure itself, this piece does not actually, it fits in, but it does not fit snugly. So it's just going to fall off. Just for those of you who are keeping track of those things. As I said before, he does not have an ankle tilt. He does have toes, which is actually quite interesting. He has a heel, and he does have a toe. So there is some manner of articulation in there. He has a normal knee tilt, but aside from those parts, his legs are just solid blocks. Not very detailed, very in line with Super7's style. His joints do sometimes need to be unlocked. They have adhered because of the rubberized plastic used on him, so you do have to kind of break him out of that. Which is, I guess, easier said than done because this is not happening. There we go. I was worried that was going to break. And the same thing with his elbow articulation. He does look suitably shocked all the time, which is nice. Here's the thing. The thing is, this is a piece of very sharp. Oh. Well, that's a problem. That's a definite problem. This was so brittle that it did not actually bend. It just snapped off. I believe there is a joint there. I believe. Is there not? Is there not a joint there? If there isn't a joint there, then that's a huge issue with this figure. One side does seem to be cut, but I think that that's a paint issue. And this arm is not supposed to bend, apparently. And so, in an attempt to bend it like this arm, I snapped it off. So, that's a huge issue. Okay, well, I will finish the quote-unquote review for this figure now. And that's going to go into the rankings, as I don't know what the hell to rank that as. From a figure standpoint, this isn't great, and really goes to show why I have not really bought any of the Super 7 figures, because the figures just, they lack a lot. I mean, this guy's lacking basic articulation, really. His legs can spread out, but he doesn't have rocker heels, so he can't really stand correctly. He's got basic articulation, and his fusion cannons do not actually stick on his arm. And now his arm has come off. So, yeah, there's that. He does, as I said, he does come with a variety of heads, which is all kind of due to this modularity that he has. There's just a ball joint up here, and you can stick the other heads on. I said you can stick the other heads. I'm going to end up destroying this figure. I just know it. So there you can have unmasked Damus. I don't know what to do with this. Now he's Cyberverse Tarn. This is what it is now. Generally speaking, I don't like figures in this style, and you can see why. The lack of any great articulation in his legs means that it severely limits his posability. He does have a little bit of a rock in there because these are rubberized ball joints. These just bend as his knees. There's no other articulation there. I mean, I guess if you wanted to, you could put him like this, like he's begging for mercy for Megatron. I don't know why he'd be smiling then, but that is what it is, unfortunately. So not a tremendous success for me even before this arm broke off. Really, it's down to the style of plastic used. This is a rubberized plastic, not the normal smooth plastic that you would normally see in a normal transforming robot. And so he is extremely heavy, but that heaviness is extremely taxing on his joints, as I said here. His hips have essentially just loosened to the point of non-use. And that's due to the heaviness of the plastic as well as the design of the figure itself. He does have these wings, so he can raise his arm up really high. And I do like the many different hands that he has that all do have a wrist rock in them. But yeah, I appreciate some parts of this. I really actually like the ab tilt. But on the whole, I would say that this is overpriced for what it is, much like a Funko Pop. The arm just snapped off because you would assume that if one arm turns, if it has an elbow tilt, you would assume this one did as well. And it did not. This was a solid piece. The figure came with no instructions, so there was nothing specifically telling me that this arm did not bend. And I think you would forgive me for assuming that that elbow would bend, because the other one did. So, yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say anything about this. I'm generally speaking, this thing is huge. This one is not. This one is better than this one. I mean, sometimes it just comes down to transforming, but I really thought that the Bloki's Action Edition Tarn was very good. It matched the colors, it matched the style, it had an extreme amount of detail and posability. This is a plastic brick that just had his arm snapped off and is not even painted in the correct colors. So what do you really say about that? I mean, this is kind of a fail in every respect for me. And I sincerely regret shelling out the money for this. Super7 may put out some really nice products, but this is not one of them. He's too blocky, he has no detail, he's too heavy. The articulation is there, but if it's this inconsistent, why even have it at all? Like, you can't really pose him from the waist down. You can make him bend, because he does have a toe that he can move, but why would you even do that? Because he doesn't have an ankle tilt, and he's so top heavy that he can't really stand. So, like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? The answer is you do nothing with it. And not to mention the fact that this still does not really stick in. It's so loose as to almost be non-existent. I would suggest never touching this Super7 Tarn. It's definitely not worth the price, even for this very nice nickel figure. I'm actually really happy with the nickel figure. I just wish she stood up when she had her backpack on. Even her wrists move, which is really nice, actually. It's a nice version of the figure. There's a little bit of tilt and give in her waist. Her legs don't move at all. She has no articulation on her waist at all. But it's just, if you take the backpack off. You have to take the backpack off, because otherwise she won't stand. So this is a complete and total failure, in my opinion. And I would suggest that nobody buy this. What more can I say about that? So thank you very much for joining me today in the Shelves Have Eyes for this very abbreviated Tarn Tuesday. I really don't understand how this happened. I mean, I don't think it's out of place to think that if one elbow bends, the other one does. And if this does bend, and there really is no indication here that it does, why wouldn't it? And why was this rubberized plastic connected with a pin that was so brittle that it just snapped right off? So for right now, this is Cyberverse Tarn, and I will glue this back, or I'll drill a little hole in it and put a pin in to keep it together. But yeah, it's just not worth it at all. The paint apps are terrible. The articulation isn't great. The detail isn't great, and the colors aren't great. It's like, if you're going to do something like this, at least do what the Blokey's Action Edition did and go full hog on the details and everything else. Otherwise, why not just buy this, right? So anyway, what are your opinions on this what are your opinions on Super7 as a company in general, of their product? Please let me know in the comments. This has been fairly disappointing and extraordinarily short, but there's nothing I can do here. Thank you very much for joining me. I have been Phantom. This has been The Shelves Have Eyes. Have a good day, y'all.
To fight in disguise, Transformers. When the battle is through, only the strong will survive. Told all I want, unknown soul.